Today we're going to ask some of the hard-hitting questions, about the universe, what is the meaning of life, and of course, which gym leaders can my dad take in a fight? Today we're just going to do Gen 1 and Gen 2 gym leaders. I'm thinking male only, just to keep it fair. Let's dive right into the stats here. Boom. We got Frank the Bank Longo, weighing a whopping 140 pounds soaking wet, 5'10", 6 foot in Nikes, and his fighting experience is as follows. Throwing kids off the pier in Atlantic City, smacking around his brothers, and I'm definitely convinced if you get him mad enough, he would keep fighting even if he lost an ear. He's from New Jersey, old school Italian dude. Dad, if you're watching this, I'm sorry. This is not meant to be at your expense. This is just for the sake of tracking data. So let's get into it. Put it into two categories: a lengthy fight versus a quick fight, and my dad would kick their ass versus my dad would get his ass kicked. Let's start with old Brock here. Pretty straightforward character in the series, but I will say this: Brock is constantly thirsty, and to me that's a sign of weakness. So I'm gonna say my dad would kick his ass. Brock raised like all of his siblings, so I'm thinking like somewhere in that general area. I'll give him a lengthy fight. He could put up with that many kids, so I'll put him above the median. But I'm going to say he's probably right about there. So looking at who is next, chronologically it would be Surge. And I'm going to go ahead and say Lieutenant Surge would absolutely body my dad in like less than a minute. He's got a military background. He's like a solid 7'7". The dude is massive. He's an absolute unit. I'm going to say my dad would get his butt whooped by Surge. He's got that Jersey wit, but that's about all he's got going for him. I could be wrong though. I want to give Pops benefit of the doubt, but I'm going to say as of right now, Surge is totally whooping my dad's ass. So let's see who's next. All right, Koga. This one's a little bit more interesting. He's got that ninja background, but he's probably the same weight class as my dad. Nah, I'm going to lean more toward he would probably whoop my dad's butt. I'm going to say because of the ninja background, it's going to be a relatively quick fight, and he would whoop my dad's butt. All right, so up next is Blaine. Blaine's a little bit of a wild card. He's tough. My dude's lived in a volcano, so he's got some endurance, so I'm definitely going to put him on the lengthier side. He could definitely take some heat. Blaine is old, but to be fair, my dad is getting up there in age. He might actually be the same age as Blaine. I'm going to say Blaine can square up with my dad pretty well. This one is about as square of a fight as it gets. This is my dad fighting himself. I'm pretty sure it would just be mirrored punches the entire time. Like literally Link fighting Dark Link in the Water Temple. Just mirrored hits every single time for the strict New Jersey Italian value. So I'm going to say Giovanni is dead center. Which Giovanni am my dad fighting over? That's a good question. Probably the last piece of prosciutto. Being 100% Italian means being 100% thick-headed, and that endurance definitely is something to consider when in a fight. Just the sheer will to not give up and have it your way. So that's what it's looking like for Gen 1. I'd say that's probably a rough estimation of where it stands. So let's, oh wait, I forgot someone. We forgot Blue. Blue is all bark and no bite. Without his Pokemon, my dad's just going to kick Blue through his ribcage. Utter obliteration, no hesitation, no question. Blue would get tanked. It makes me wonder, where would my dad stand up against Gen 2? So let's start off with Faulkner here. That's another tough one. It would be a pretty square fight. Nah, I think my dad might have him. He's young. Because I have to remember, some of these gym leaders are like between the ages of 12 and 16. And if they fall in that category, they got basically no shot against my dad. I'm going to say anyone under that age group is probably going to get mopped. All right, Bugsy, no question. My dad is absolutely destroying Bugsy. Fastest fight. Probably faster than Blue. I'm going to go ahead and put Bugsy way down here. That seems accurate. And I don't know what my dad's fighting style would be. I don't know if he would be a dirty fighter or if he would fight with honor. If he got cornered, I don't doubt that he would fight a little dirty and start like going for some eyes. So I'm going to say Morty. That might be a little bit of a fair fight. And I'm leaning on Morty to kind of kick my dad's ass here. Gonna be a lengthy fight just because my dad won't give up. He's probably opposite Brock, to where my dad is probably going to lose to Morty if I had to guess. It's looking pretty good. All right, so up next we got Chuck. Your first impression of him is literally him lifting a boulder up and throwing it onto a statue. So I'm going to say he's probably right up there with Surge. He's going to whoop my dad's ass without question. Last but not least, Pierce. I'm going to say Pierce is probably going to get whooped by my dad. But then again, I don't want to overestimate his age versus my dad's age. I sometimes forget that my dad's getting old. This might be a fair fight for a little bit. I'm going to say it's going to be a lengthy fight. But ultimately, my dad would whoop Pierce. I'd say that looks pretty accurate. This was fun, though, so thank you guys very much for joining and participating in this.